story is told from whose perspective?
Yes.
Nick's perspective, right? Your perspective. So I'm interested in how the story would change if someone else told the story. Okay.
It wouldn't be as good.
You don't think so?
I think
You're invested in Nick's story.
Like you have
The artistic reading?
yeah,
Artistic?
artistically or like that way of speaking.
Okay. So part of the reason that Nick was chosen as the narrator is because if you think about his personality, people are what?
Boring.
Oh, down. So JJ said, can you repeat what you said, sir?
I said people tell me everything so you can know the story because everybody's telling me.
Right. Awesome.
It's more trustworthy, or?
He could be more trustworthy, but regardless of whether he is actually a trustworthy person, people feel that way about him. So, because of his perceived like trustworthiness and people just tell him everything. So we get a more well-rounded story. So, for example, if Lexus and Jen and Autumn and Cap are all friends, and everybody tells Jen everything, but like Cap doesn't really talk to Lexus that much, and Autumn doesn't really talk to Cap that much, then Jen's gonna know everything that's going on between them. So she could either be like, oh, so-and-so said this, or did you know that she said this about you? Or she could just keep it to herself and write a story, kind of like Nick is telling us a story. So when you have a circle of friends, like some people talk to more people than others. Okay, so what other things do you know about perspective in given situations? So let's think of a situation where people could get a different perspective about things.
Like, they could be like, I'll just put it right?
Okay.
It's like you just full out goes and hits a girl for no reason.
Okay, so your perception of the scene is that this one girl hit this other girl for no reason.
Yeah. And
So were you like near them?
Yes, I was near them. And I saw it.
Okay. So you saw one thing happen, but maybe the girls like knew each other before, right? So their perception of each other is different than what you see.
Yeah, but the cops had told everybody, and everybody, all of her friends lied for her. She was in trouble.
So the cop gets a totally different perception.
Yeah.
So do you see how if people are there or not? These two need one. Did anybody else have a copy of the assignment? Okay. Everybody else has one copy. Thank you. So depending on whether you were there or not, or whose version of the story you get a different perception. So we're gonna write one up here together. Okay, so we're gonna work through one together. We'll pick a scene from the book, talk about it, and then we'll talk about the assignment. Okay, so first things first. What?
Oh, I got a good scene.
Okay, well let's pick. So if we're subscribing to Raft, let's pick our role first. So who do we want to be?
This follows for tomorrow. Do we come to this class tomorrow for that field trip or what?
No, we're leaving
I would.
at 8.
I want to be
Where do we go?
Nick.
We leave at 8.
Well, we can't be Nick first.
That's not the answer to my question. That's
Okay,
where
They're
you
gonna
go.
call you now. They're gonna call you.
One question at a time.
Where do we go?
I don't know. I'm A, hoping they'll make an announcement, or B, hoping they'll send out a... No. So it'll be, so we can make up what we've read now, what they talked about. So what did they... Is that turning back on?
Hey,
Okay. So who can tell me what Gatsby and Jordan talked about at the party? Like, why were they... Well, we've read now what they talked about. Jordan told us a story. Why did Gatsby want to talk to Jordan? Okay, he has something going on.
we need to figure out something. Because he wants to ask him just like ask Jordan to
Right. So he asked Jordan to ask Nick to invite Daisy over. So he explains like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
okay. He says like, hey, do you remember I was the officer sitting in a car with Daisy because Jordan and Daisy grew up together. Story. Okay, so let's get our ideas down. So Gatsby wants to talk to Jordan. So how do we want to start? With Jordan walking in to see Gatsby? Okay. Are we writing it from Jordan's perspective or Gatsby's perspective? Jordan. Okay. So in place of Jordan, then I'm going to use I. So everyone, anytime you see I, that is Jordan. I walked in to see Gatsby. What? Like, how was Gatsby acting? After we type this up, after I type this, I'll print out copies so you all can use it as reference, okay? I walked in to see Gatsby. What? How is Gatsby going to be acting?
Nervous.
Nervous?
Yeah.
I walked in to see Gatsby. Was acting nervous. Okay, that's spelled wrong.
That's why we have spell check these days. I like that.
Okay, so probably someone is Gatsby to talk first or Jordan? Jordan?
Gatsby.
Okay, well it can be either. So what's your perception?
Gatsby.
Oh, well, let's hear Gatsby. What would Gatsby say first if he was going to speak? Okay, well Gatsby asked her to meet him. Okay, so if Jordan's going to talk first, Katie, what do you think Jordan would say if she walked in and Gatsby's acting nervous and she was asking him something?
I answered one. I made one. That's it.
Why you acting nervous?
Are you okay?
Why you acting nervous?
I'm glad we have so many ideas. Let's go one at a time. Okay,
Why you nervous?
She really is.
Are you okay?
Yes, she is. She's.
Are you okay, big boy? Get on her bad side.
Don't get
okay, so she's showing concern for Gatsby,
Can I type
but
for you?
do you think that Jordan's feeling nervous too?
Yeah.
Can I come type for you?
Why can't I type?
Because you can just talk and I type.
Okay, I don't care if you can type twice.
Don't say that.
Okay, so I walked in to see Gatsby. He was acting nervous. Is Jordan's pretty straightforward, so she would probably ask straightforward questions. So what's Gatsby going to say in response?
May I ask you a question?
Maybe.
We need to talk.
We need to talk. So he could say, so do we want him to ask her, or do you want him to like
State it.
state it? So how many people think he should say, we need to talk? Okay, and how many people think he should say, what did you say, Dominic?
Ask you. May I talk to you?
Oh, can I ask you something? Okay, so we're going with, you need quotation marks. We need to talk.
Come on. You can't even spell talk.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, okay.
It's hard because you can't see it on there, over there. Okay, don't forget your period. Okay, so it doesn't have to be, guys.
Inside the quotation marks.
Bro.
It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It's a rough draft. So at this rate, it's going to be all dialogue, which we don't want it to be all dialogue. I mean, it depends on the format that you pick, but for this one, we're not going to do all dialogue. So how could we summarize what Jordan was thinking or her perception of the scene? What's up, Jordan?
I was on my thing.
Your eraser?
No.
Okay. Is it really important to find it right this second, though?
No, it's straight. I'll look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, So we need to talk. Then what's gonna happen next?
They gonna fight.
We're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Alexis, what do you think?
It's your phone.
How we talk and what's
Okay. Okay. So give me one example of something she might. So if Gatsby is reminding her of the past and Daisy, at first, how do you think she would feel?
Like, shit.
Nervous, upset.
I already have nervous and nervous again.
She'd be asking the question.
Don't ask me.
Why?
Worried.
Why are you worried about Daisy or something like that?
Okay, or maybe like, why is it taking you so long?